Hi guys, it's Mal here from Virtual Pool 4 blog on runout.tv, and this match is going to be me versus the Wolfpack, and it was the final of the 2016 US Open title. Now you're going to see the shots quite quickly. I'm going to have to be quite quick off the mark. This is now my shot. Obviously this isn't live. And I go down for the combination shot and actually miss it. I actually remember that shot. And at first I was thinking, no man, what am I going to do? So Wolfpack gets first bite at the cherry in this opening rack, and everything's pretty much, open for him. And that one there, I'm not quite sure what he was doing there. He's left himself a shot into the right hand corner, and he took that really well. Obviously it's a really long race. So the key exchanges at the beginning. And that was a nice shot there, just to plant. And at this point, I'd pretty much given up open this opening rack and thought, it's always nice, even in a long race, to get your chances early on. Now, and that was very unfortunate for Wolfpack. It was a good break. Now, one of the features of the tournament as a whole was the difficulty for me of getting a ball on the break, and Wolfpack seemed to have a really good break, and we'll see it later in the match. This is just me here clearing up this rack. Again, it's quite weird. I've got a ridiculously good memory, guys, and I can remember the shots just when I see the balls. It sort of brings back the memory of me actually playing the shot. I remember I sort of stunned this in, end up I think pretty much straight once the ball stops moving. Yeah, see, I remember these things. Crazy memory. And got my first rack on the board, which is always nice to get a rack on the board. Now, one of the things I'm noticing just off watching this graphical illustration is that when the balls rack up, just have a quick look at what happens, because what you'll actually see is that the rack sort of randomize the balls and then turn. So that was my shot there, and I was really unhappy with that shot, because anytime you're leaving Wolfpack with an open shot on a ball, that's really bad news. And I can remember feeling pretty aggrieved with myself at this point, because he doesn't miss much. And what you can't lose a match, you can't win a match early on, but you can probably lose a match early on. But there, he missed a real sitter. So I was very, very surprised when he missed that shot, and sort of thought, well, at the level that me and Wolfpack play at, I was thinking that's rack, that's game ball. So the key thing was to leave myself an opportunity. Now with this shot here, I wasn't happy at all with that shot, but I just basically thought leave the white somewhere in the middle of the table. And I managed to just roll the white in, the 9 ball, sorry, the 2-1 lead. So, early on, you even see there, got a couple of balls off the break, a nice little break there. At this point, Wolfpack sort of flushed a couple of balls down the toilet, and then I go and do that. And I was really, really bad, because that is a terrible miss. That really is a bad miss. And I was thinking at this point, he's just giving me a rack, and I've just given one right back. So basically at this point, what I was thinking about, just to tell you guys, I was sort of a bit numb at the moment, but I just thought, okay, 2-2 after 4 racks, I'll take that. Ooh. So I guess the shots you can watch, what I'm going to try and do is tell you about what I was thinking, what I was feeling at any time, if I can remember, because one of the things you get in long matches is the ebb and the flow of your emotions. So that was a break by Wolfpack. As you can see, there wasn't really a lot going on. We had the green and the 9 stuck, so I decided just to play a push out, pot the purple, leave him in. Now we sat thinking about this for a while, and then played that shot there. So it had actually worked out well for me. Oh, sorry, that was me that did that. My apologies. That was my terrible shot. Got to keep watching the... It's a pity you couldn't have like a light on when it's my go. But then Wolfpack missed another one. And I'll be honest, guys, I don't much remember that particular miss. I remember the screwback shot, but not the miss that he made. I don't remember feeling too much about that, other than here's my chance. Now here, I decided to try and give myself a combination shot chance. So I dug in deep. And my main worry wasn't going in off in the middle. Obviously, it worked out quite well. It was to actually get... no, I almost missed that one. I got a bit lucky there. Was going in off in the corner. Now, as you can see, a really tilted rack here. But I did get a ball in. And liked this rack a lot when I first looked at it. I was very pleased with that shot. And once I'd got that white in, I felt really good about this rack. I felt really, really good about it. As you can see, I'm controlling the white ball very well. That's always a trait of me, being able to get a good game going. Now here, I didn't want to leave a combination shot, so I tried to get behind the 7. Now, as you can see, I've lost the white. I guess if you've been really critical, you could say that I'd lost the white a little bit. But I was pretty confident I could pot this. Now, as you can see, I can remember my heart just jolting slightly as I played that, as the ball hit the cushion, and I saw that going up, and I thought, that wasn't good. I didn't enjoy that at all. So hang on, I just need to switch off a Facebook notification, guys, that I'm getting, because I'm involved in a group, and I've obviously posted. Bear with us. Okay, just turn off this. More, turn off. There we go. So Wolfpack is making short work of this at 4-2. Now when he hit that 9 ball, I thought, hello. It just travelled far enough. But as you can see, that little error, that little mistake just caused him a problem. And he had to recover, and he didn't. So when he missed this for 4-2 to go 4-3, I thought I had a real chance. Now I hit this, I got a little bit lucky. That could easily have gone in off, and it opened up. And when I potted this, it was the first time in the match, really early on, that I thought, I've got him here. You know what, I'm going to win this game. Totally early. It was just the first time that thought just crept into my head. Now that 9 was travelling in. And what I decided here, I'm not going to get much of a chance to show you, but I decided to try and go for the 9. That was me going for the 9. It was a little bit rash, guys, if I'm honest. I should have just been a bit more sensible. But if I remember rightly, Wolfpack doesn't do a great job of hiding this ball. So I decided to jump for it. And I think I get it if I remember, yeah. And when I hit this, I've put the 4 really awkward. But at this point, I was feeling good about just dropping in behind it. And I played the 2, just thinking I need to get on this 4. And it was just a case of get behind it, and I've got a chance. The in-off was on here a little bit. So I played what I think eventually turns out to be a great shot here. Oh, no, I don't get it. But I think yeah. And again, I was feeling good at this point. You know, after the first 8 racks, you guys know that at least early in the game, I think of the racks in terms of 8 racks sections. And I felt really good about this when I knew, pretty much when I jumped the 6, that I had a 6-2 advantage early on, which is really, really good. So at this point, you're thinking, pot a ball, consolidate. And yet again, I've left Wolfpack open in a rack, which isn't good. And again, when he got this little bad beat, this little nasty roll, I was just thinking, you know, I've got a good chance here. But what Wolfpack's brilliant at is jump shots. And that was a great shot. You know, my heart sank when he hit that one. I landed there. I was like, well, you know, this is rack, unfortunately. And I'm going to have to just sit and watch him clear up, which I think is what he does. Again, he doesn't want to be hitting that 9 ball, but it was fine. But it just showed that he wasn't as perfect as what he could have been. So I was fairly confident I was going to get some chances. Even that's not great because he's going away from the white. But Wolfpack's probably the best player apart from me that I've seen that can roll these in and control the speed of the cue. And he turned out to be a nice run out from him. And look at that break, you know. One of the traits of Wolfpack's game that I love watching is that his break was just great throughout this match. There's a section in the match coming up where he murders me because I can't get a ball on the break and he can. And when you're playing two players at a high level, it does become a lot about the break because he doesn't miss a lot. I think I miss probably the least in the 9 ball of active players. Makes me tough to beat, but if I had his break, and people might be like, well, you know, break's a break, just hit the things. The reality is that there is an art to it, even on virtual pool. And you can see he made short work of these. And I, realised that my letting him in the last frame where I'd gone for that combo was silly. But an open frame here, and again at this level, it's about punishing when you get a chance. So I potted this, and I was suffering a bit at the last. I remember now that I pot these, I was suffering a bit, and when I potted these balls, I instantly felt better. It's just amazing how the emotions ebb and flow in a game. Even on virtual pool, I do care about it. That was a terrible shot. Hit the cushion far too early, and I got away with it. And as I potted this ball, sort of beating myself up a little bit. And I think I play a nice shot here, just a little bit of stun. Could have done with a bit more, but now there you go. Now that hurt. But that felt good when it dropped. And again, that would have been 6-6 instead of 7-4. And when I potted this one like that, I was thinking, get this clearance, because that could be like a huge, huge swing. From 6-6 to getting the treble to 8-4 is a massive moment in the match. And that's one thing, again, that I'm quite good at spotting, is these big moments in the game. And again, that was a nice shot, but I landed horribly here. And I decided to play safe. Again, I was leaving him the double. And I think he gets it if I remember rightly. Yeah, but he made a mess of the 7. He should have been a bit further on. But he basically hands me the rack. If he'd have just put a bit more top on, hit it a bit harder, the white would have stunned back. But he didn't, and I was very grateful to get in. And again, 8-4 is kind of the first time there's like real distance between us. And it could have been 6-6. It just goes to show why you should concentrate. People like Jeeves watches the game, and big shout out to Andy as well, who says he enjoys my commentary. It's really important to seize every shot because you can see the turn. That's a great example just now of what can happen. So Wolfpack was clearly, wanting to get back in the game. Played a fantastic shot there. Basically opened the whole rack up with the one ball. And I was, again, at this level, I'm writing the rack off now. I'm thinking, that's it, 8-4, 8-5. That's how good you've got to be to win these tournaments. You've just got to be, you get your first clearance, it's got to go. There's not many racks in this match where we give each other a second chance. It's basically, do you get in on the break? I'm not sure how many times Wolfpack clears up on the break, but I'm guessing it was quite a lot. Now here, again with Wolfpack, he's such a good jump shot player that there was no celebration off me. I mean, well, what a shot that was on the 5 there, the 7, sorry. What a great shot, and he deserved the rack at that point. But when he went behind the 9, I just thought for a second he's not going to get it, but I know how good he is at jumping. So you have this if you play a lot against the computer. I mean, just look at that break, guys. What a super break. Getting himself right back in the game. Just off his great breaking. And at this point, if you're playing a good player, you're thinking, well, he's out here. All he's got to do is leave himself a shot on the 6 to make sure he comes back down the table. He doesn't get locked up the top of the table. And this is fine. So just a deep screw. You could go crazy topspin, anything, but again, just that he knew exactly how hard to hit it, left himself absolutely perfect. And again, he's knocked another 2 rack running. Now, one of the things I noticed in this match, and again, look at that great break, and he kept getting these breaks just like that, where he was just knocking them into position. I'm thinking, hello. If he's going to knock in 2 racks every time he gets to the table, and I'm knocking in dry breaks, I'm not going to win this match. And I'm thinking about that at this point. I'm not going to win the game if he keeps, breaking addition the way he's doing it. And he was making it, to be honest. I know this is the replay, so you get the same sort of graphical illustration of the shots, but he was flowing here. And then he went and did that. And that was kind of the pattern on the game a little bit, that he kept doing really, really well and then just letting me back in. But, you know, you're talking perfect pool in terms of what he was doing. So is it realistic that anybody can play really perfect pool? I personally don't think it is. But at the same time, Wolfpack was, you know, let me back in, and I was careful to take that advantage. And again, 9-6. But, you know, it's... And then I get a real lucky break just to compound that with a golden break. Which I do say sorry for. A few people say you shouldn't. The reason I do is because I think you're acknowledging the luck. But then if you look here, what have I done since 8-6? Could have been 8-7. And yet again, I've knocked in, I think, what's probably going to be a 3-rack run in the match. And that's going to hurt an opponent where it should have been 6-6. And I made it different. You know, made it, I think, 10-6 or 9-6. Should have been, you know, a different scoreline here. And I punished him with a 3-rack run. And it was at this point 11-6 up that I'm starting to think, you know, I've got the kid here. You know, he's, in terms of the mental strength to come back, gets harder and harder the more racks that you get. Now here I was absolutely desperate for a shot on the one, and I realised that, you know, I really had to try hard to put the knife in to keep getting these racks, to get like a 4 or 5 rack run. What I wanted to do there was just nick that 6, just to knock that 8 out of the way. I'm not sure if I clear. Something's telling me I don't clear up here. I'm not sure if I do or not. Looking at the run, I would suggest that I probably do, but for that would be a 4-rack run. And again, this is, I didn't consciously at this point, I wasn't thinking about making a 4-rack run, if I'm honest. I mean, that was a really poor positional shot. I wasn't really thinking about that. But you kind of complain when you've just knocked 4 racks in a row in. Even with a golden break, that's a good run, and it put some real air between us. And I was at this point thinking, don't give the guy a shot, and then I go and scratch, and that was a real disappointment. Especially with the balls the way they were open, I think I'd have fancied myself to get another break and dish. And credit to Wolfpack, you know, can only say well done at this point in the match when he's watching me not play great, but just get in and convert rack after rack. He must have been thinking, you know, what can I do here to prevent that from happening again? You know, he's played well, he's only missed a couple of shots, and he's like 12-6 down. That was a poor one. And again, look where he lands. I mean, here I think I would have loaded up with bottom. He spent a lot of time on this shot and then missed it. At this point, if I thought, well, if I can get this in and I don't get it, I was very disappointed with that shot, because 13-6, I could have run away with it. And here, when Wolfpack did that, I thought it was all over. I was 7 racks up. I really thought it was curtains for him at this point. I didn't feel like I'd played really well to get 7 racks ahead. You know, I know how good of a player Wolfpack is, and I just thought, and again, I think there's a thing here where he leaves us in here, and I just thought, well, everything's going my way. Everything's going my way. You know, it started to feel, I'll be honest, it started to feel very easy at this point. Maybe a little too easy, if I'm honest, where I made a big mistake here by not looking to see if it went. And again, that was a complacent shot, I'm going to be very honest with you. And then I played that shot, which was a very poor one as well. So that was I think it was at this point, I was finding it a bit too easy at the minute. And I think I was getting cocky, which you should never do. And I'll be the first person to say it should never happen. And even in the game, I knew it shouldn't happen. It was just the way the shots were being played and that were actually happening. So I was a bit angry with myself at this point, because I knew, you know, it's a weird thing about pool. You think you're playing well and you should be confident to win, and you make a silly mistake because you're not taking it seriously enough, or you know, it doesn't get much more serious than this in terms of VP4 because I'm playing a major final that I'm expected to win and that I want to win. And then I go and do that. And then when Wolfpack starts knocking in those kind of breaks, you're thinking, well, you can get back in the game here. And I'm really struggling to make anything happen. Not that, you can't keep giving him chances. That's the problem. Such a good player. And at this point, you're thinking 13-8. And it's amazing how quickly your psychology shifts from I'm playing really well, I'm running away with it, to he's coming back. And it's that amazing thing about sport, that he's just clinically knocking these in. Never looks like he's going to miss. And you're thinking, I'm throwing this away. Even at this point, I didn't feel like I was away from him. I felt like I was ahead because I'd had a lot of racks together. He hadn't made that many mistakes. And I'd given him a couple back. So at 13-8. And he goes in off. And again, it's like another little moment that kind of helps me out. And again, like I say, our standard, both of us, is that when we're in like this, we're thinking we have to clear up here. There's no kind of if or buts about it. Now, I deliberately played the white out there because I wanted to play the stun shot to get the white down towards a 6. Not that far down, but just down enough so I could come back across for the 7, which I managed. I forget, I think I played high topspin here, which I've always been good at because I learned to play on a 6x3 table with no slate, so I couldn't screw back. So all through my childhood, I learned how to judge the spin on topspin, which is why I'm so good at it. So 14-8. Then I got that in. I was unhappy with the white because it's too far away and that black ball really hurt me. So I thought, well, I'll load up with lots of things. And I hit that. I think I did actually go for the 9, if I remember rightly. When I'm potting these balls in like this. Now here, I did think about going for the 9. But I think I came to my senses. Yeah, I came to my senses a little bit, but... And here I got really cocky. Oh no, I didn't. I can't remember. I remember thinking about, should I go for the double? And as I was thinking about that, I lined up for the pot and Wolfpack hit that in. I thought, you know what? That was another one you threw away. So 9-14. Wolfpack gets the 9 moving. The 3's going, I think. Oh no, the 3 stayed up. Do you know, I don't remember this rack at all. Other than I think I win it I remember that shot because I think I got really lucky on the position. I used the 5, I think, for holding. Yeah, so I do sort of remember this now. I felt good about that shot. I felt really in control and nice. I think I might top spin this one. Now, most people might think that's really, really risky. It didn't feel that risky when I took it on, but when I look at it overhead there, I sort of wonder what the hell I was doing. But once I get to this point, I'm thinking rack over, just don't make any silly errors. Don't play anything that gets you near and in off. And then just roll these 2 in, really. So 15-9, virtually halfway. And I'm feeling good at this point. I'm believing at this point that Wolfpack kind of come back. That I'm gonna sort of press on. And the 9 moves again. And I wasn't sure what to do here. That was a good shot, but I didn't know what to do. And I tried to get behind the 6. I didn't quite make it. And I was beating myself up again. I mean, you got to remember that not every shot that you leave for Wolfpack is an error. He's bound to get chances. So you kind of beat yourself up too much. But I just looked at the scoreline, thought 15-10 just doesn't seem nearly as fun. Or as good for me as 15-9. And I knew he was going to clear up these. It wasn't really a, if I get another chance here, it's an absolute gift. And you just don't get that many of them from him. So Wolfpack, for the first time, I think, in the match, gets a hook off the break. I didn't really get that shot. I didn't really understand it. I thought I could very easily get behind this ball. Now, I actually had it. It's funny that from this point, for the next few racks, for the next maybe 7 or 8 racks, I felt very, very uncomfortable. That shot there was just, before I played it, I didn't feel like it was going to go right. I played the shot and it went wrong. Then he started potting the balls. He looked very, very comfortable. He was playing at a lovely pace, and I was just starting to think, he's coming into stroke here and I'm out of stroke. And he can very easily get 5 racks back. He's breaking so well that he can very easily get 5 racks off us and start to play. And when that dropped, it was just almost like, the pool gods are loving him at the minute. And I must admit, I lost my way a little bit mentally at this point. I was starting to feel like it was back to being a close game again. And when you're psychologically thinking that you've almost got it, and I saw this break, and I'm thinking, at this point I'm suffering. I'm thinking, well, he's going to clear up here, and I'm really struggling to get a shot. He's coming back. There's not a lot that I can do. And again, this is the ebb and flow of a game. And if you look at what he's doing, which is really good, he's doing everything right. He's not doing too much with the white. He's accurate, and he's giving himself the biggest area to aim for. He's rolling them in, and he doesn't look like he's really going to miss. And at this point, I'm starting, because I was suffering, and I wasn't getting the easy chances, for Wolfpack's now right back in the game. And I'm thinking, God, a sort of 7-rack run here, is really bad. And there was one point in the run here that he has, that I realised that even if I lost the next section 5-1, I was only going to be behind by a little bit. So I pushed out here. Again, you can tell that I'm mentally knackered because I gave him this shot. This shot was just right there for him. And I didn't really have anything to do. So you can tell at this point I played that shot. It was a terrible shot. I don't know what I was actually hoping to achieve from it. I was frustrated. And you could just see that and one of the things you learn is what Willie Mosconi said, the great Willie Mosconi. He said, when you've got the knife in, twist it. And Wolfpack at this point didn't twist it. And I think I played a pretty good shot in the second here. And when that went in, and I got lucky, a little bit lucky, I played for it, but I got lucky. And that come, I thought, right, 16-12, I feel good again. But I still wasn't happy. I still felt I'd got a bit lucky off that miss. And again, I've stuck with myself here, and I'm thinking, this is going wrong. This is going badly. But I dug in. Took my time on this one because they're the classic ones that you can miss. And I was still feeling uncomfortable, guys. Really was. But I'm about to be just over halfway. And in effect on the home straight. So 16-12, I still didn't feel good at all. So I get a nice break, but the white... The one ball, gets kicked into probably the worst position ever. And I thought, well, I'll just play a nice safety. And what do? I do the thing that you can do. The easiest shot in the world to do. I go in off in the corner. So any sort of good feeling I had off the last rack 26, was lost in an instant. And I've given him pretty much what I consider to be a 9.5 out of 10 run out. And I was mad at this point. I was thinking, I've been ahead by a ton. I've had a read, and what I was also thinking about was that apart from that 4-rack run, where I'd broken run 4 racks and I'd broken run, I think 2 racks or 3. You took those 7 away, I was getting hiding. I was like, I would have been the 19-9 down. So I started to think about that sort of thing, and that was doing me head in a bit. Thinking, well, apart from a couple of good runs, I've basically come second to the punch on all of these moments. And look at this break, and I'm thinking, oh God, this is, and you might be surprised to hear me sound so negative, but that was just what was happening in the match at this point. I just felt bad, and I'm not sure why. Maybe it's just the pressure. But when your opponent just keeps sort of knocking them in. And I remember at this point, I moved my camera down to by the left pocket, thinking, well, this is a tough shot. and he just knocks it in. And I was thinking, right, this is a game. This is game on. You know, I'm now going to have to really work for this title. It's just, I guess for the first time in the tournament, because most of the games I've been really clever and played well, and obviously I went right to the winner's side to win it. And this was the first time just around now that I thought I could lose. He's definitely playing well enough to take us out here. But I'm still ahead, so I wasn't, you know, again, I'm sort of maybe overemphasizing how bad I felt, but there was no feeling of happiness here when I was 16-12 up. You know, I was beating the hell out of myself. And as you can see, it's still, I'm missing balls, and I got a bit lucky there when it went safe. But again, I trusted in Wolfpack's ability to play a good shot. And again, he's leaving himself jumps, but he's probably the best jumper one of the best jumpers apart from Mr. Bill that I've seen on the game. Now, I was surprised at that shot. I was surprised at that shot, and this didn't feel necessarily like a big opportunity to me. And again, I missed again, and I'm thinking, like, I've knocked it open, and I'm thinking, ooh, the wheels have come off completely, and they had. You know, I felt like I couldn't pot anything, but at least I was in a position where I had this wobble, and I could get out of it. Now I think here he just leaves himself. No, he doesn't. And when this went in, and then he got down for this ball, again, I was like, definitely his best spell of the match. So I was pretty angry with myself at this point, thinking, you know, you've let him back in. You know, I wasn't feeling good about pretty much winning any more racks, to be honest, at this point. I just felt pretty low. And as I came to the table here, I felt pretty beaten up. Like a boxer who's done a few bad rounds. But I played a good safety there, and I was pleased about that one. That was kind of the first time that I had anything to feel good about for quite some time. And then he did that. And I'm thinking, oh no, life is not good. Life is not good. So I fouled there, and again, like I say, the ebb and flow of emotion was just sort of, right, I'm having a struggle, I'm in a bit of a war. I've had a big, busy week at work, guys, but again, I'm sorry I couldn't record this live. It was just too important to kind of crack on as I was playing, and you know, it was difficult. But yep. So anyway, Wolfpack played a lovely shot there. Used the 9 to help his position. Didn't try any heroics there. Played nice and easy shot. Now here you've got a choice. You can go up and down or across, and you know, very sensibly move the white as little as possible. And I think at this point I cracked my table and shouted, "Come on, sort your life out." And then got back to work. And at this point, 16-16, I'm thinking, right, you know, we're back to the start now, and it's a race to 15 for the title that I can definitely win. We got a bit unlucky there with the break, and then this happened. What an amazing shot. I mean, that was... I was thinking when that first one didn't, I'm sitting there and I thought, right, now's your chance here to get back the table. And when he got that in, I thought, wow, you know, he's playing really, really well. I'm going to have to play really well to beat him here. I didn't feel like I'd lost, but I felt like it was a real possibility. And then that happens. And that turned out, guys, to be a huge turning point in this match. Absolutely huge turning point in this match. Turned everything on its head. I think that shot there lost him, in retrospect, lost him the title. Because, you know, again, I leave him in, and I'm thinking, God damn, another... Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, I did, sorry. And then he missed that ball. Obviously, he was still suffering from the black. Missed a shot he should have got. And at this point, I'm thinking, right, I've got to twist the knife in here. I just simply have to get these clearances. Time for the big shots. And I put that in, I felt a little bit better. And I started to believe again. It's amazing how one shot, when that went in, I thought, right, that was a shot that I could have missed. It's one of my sort of missable shots. And I was like, right, let's get to work. Kind of my signature shots, those. And at this point, I felt good again about controlling the white. I felt good about hitting zones that I wanted to hit, and I just thought, right, I'm back, and I'm ready to, you know, I can win again. So that section there was a horrible thing to go through, but I came through it, and I started to feel good again. That turned out to be a nice little roll. Now what I went for there was to move the 5. When I potted that, I felt good again. I thought, well, now, you know, there's definitely a 5-9 combination. So I need to just make sure I can land on the 4. And I thought I played that because I thought that was the best way of getting an angle on the... What I wanted here was to roll through and just hit the... The reason I hit that a bit harder was because the natural angle was to hit where the black was. But I wanted to land close to the 5. So I thought, well, this is a makeable combo, and suddenly 3 racks ahead again. That was a bit unlucky because that one was travelling in, but then I get the 6. I thought, well, I'm going for this, guys. I thought I'm going for it, and I missed. And I think I might get lucky here in snooker room as well. So a little bit of fortune. He did look at the jumper, but he didn't get it, and then he goes in off. So again, I'm thinking, right, you know, clear these up. Now I think I go for the combo here, and that was nuts. That was terrible. I mean, moronic shot, and I cannot tell you, other than just pure nerves, maybe nervous energy, that I should never have gone for that, just like I shouldn't have gone for the one earlier on in the match. And when I did that and he got this nice break, he left us in with a break, I thought, I've got to clear up here just to make amends for that disgusting shot I've just played. But I still felt good that if I got the chance, I would clear up. I hit that one just a fraction too hard, but it was alright. So I got that ball, I thought, right, but that makes up for the last rack. And at this point, you're kind of thinking, right, 11 to go. You start to look at a little bit at the finish line. I was a bit knocked at that because it opened it up at the last second. And of course, he did pot it. Difficult clearance, though. But at this point, we're both in stroke. And, you know, playing well. And at this point, I start to think, well, I was thinking, well, he's got to beat his 14-10 now. So it's starting to be a challenge for him because he's never beat me by that score before. And I'm thinking, for him to beat his 14-10, he's going to have to play really well, plus the pressure of coming from behind. I started to think again, just like I thought at 16-9 or whatever it was, that I had a real good chance. I think this was an excellent shot. I love the way he played that shot, just really lightly. It's very easy on that shot to overhit it, but he played it really, really well, and played that shot the way that I like to play them, using 2 cushions to get that big landing zone. And 2018, but I still felt okay. I still felt like I was going to clear up if I got in. I felt like it's the break that was letting us down, not so much the, you know, anything else. So when I was getting a chance like this, I felt like I was going to get it. And when I missed that shot, I was really mad because I felt like I'd built up a bit of momentum and I was just giving it back. I didn't want him to stay with us all the way through. I wanted to start to play some good pool. I felt like it was there, but I was just sort of struggling to get away. Now that shot there had to hit harder, but he played it very well. That's lovely control. Plays the right shot to land just behind it. Beautiful control of the white, because if he'd hit it straight into the pocket, it would have gone in on the jaw. So he did very, very well. And we're back to 1 rack away. So I get another non-timely great break from Wolfpack again. And again, I'm thinking, right, okay. But I felt weirdly better than what I did when it was 13-12, 15-12 to him, to me. I felt way better. Now that shot went really badly wrong for him. And then he went, like, I thought he was going to go for the combo. I wasn't really happy with that one. I left it probably about as awkward as I could. And he went for it. And I thought for a horrible second he was going to get the 9 there. But when he missed that one, I was like, well, that's a bit of a break. You know, again, it was a significant miss. Now here I just thought play with a little bit of the right hand side. Pinch the pocket a bit. And 21-19. So at this point I was thinking, God, I wish it was raced to 21 because I wouldn't have to worry. I got a 21 first in every match. Now, I'm not sure if I can see this or not, whether I jump for it. Yeah, I do. How about that for a shot, guys, eh? I'll let you guys rewind that. I won't rewind it, but I've said sorry, and I thought that again, you know, you're looking for these little breaks, and I thought that is a little break. That is great. That was a lovely shot. Played exactly the way I wanted to. Perfect position. When you start hitting stuff like that, when you're going for it, you know that things are going well. And at this point, I'm thinking again, the black ball is the ball to think about. You know, make sure you're on it. And I was looking at where do I need to be, and I fixed on the line next to the left cushion. That's where I was aiming for. And if you look at where I'm at, I'm not that far away from it. A bit further in the middle than I wanted, but at this point I'm thinking just roll it in. Ball in the middle or up the top. I forget which one I go for. I think I went in the middle. And I'm up to 22. And here I think I go for another odd combo shot, but with a bit of safety in mind, and didn't get it. So I was again a little bit rash. But that was a poor shot by Wolfpack. Put the 7 in a horrible place. Then he's got the wrong angle on the 3. And then he's slowly but surely find himself in real bother. Now what I would have tried here was to get the 5, but play it with the right hand side and try and leave yourself the 7. Now I could get round the back of this. So here I've decided to come down the bottom of the table. And I played it really well. I had to get tight on the cushion. And I had to miss this inside jaw. And unfortunately, I think I'm not sure if I got it or whether I just missed. Played it with lots of side and I just got it in. So I was really happy with that shot. And again, that one was a key one. Now, is the 5 going to go in? No. I think that was another big mistake off Wolfpack there. You know, you cannot really be leaving us chances like that when you know, I'm heading. At this point, I felt like a bit of a ski jumper. you know, skiing down the hill towards the finish line. One thing I'm very proud of is I never feel like I'm gonna miss. I forget what I did here. A couple of options. You can go back. There. That's why I forgot, because I didn't actually put it. Yeah, I made a real mess of that one. That was a bad miss. That was just, again, not thinking about what I was actually doing, just presuming it was definitely going to go in. And as always, you know, particularly costly against Wolfpack, and probably anybody else that's in the top 20 players, probably less. So in a final, to do that when you know, to let him back in the game, very, very upsetting. And when he hit that, and then it missed, I'm thinking, not good at all. (21-23), so I've pissed away 2 racks. Sorry, my apologies. He dry braked it and added that. I'm sorry, guys, that was my mistake. It was me that actually played that. I thought I seemed to remember me taking that shot, but I thought I must have remembered that wrong. Sorry about that. He must have dry braked. Got to keep my eyes open. Apologies if you've noticed anywhere else in the video that I've kind of got the play mixed up. Right, so this is my shot, and I played a pretty poor shot really, because I put the object ball near the 9 and then left him an open shot to it, so that really wasn't a good idea. And he played an excellent combination shot to reduce the arrears to 21-24. So again, at this point, I'm thinking he's got to beat me 10-7 or 10-6. And Wolfpack's, I don't think, ever beaten me 10-6 before. Probably, I might not say that, I think he probably has. Now, Wolfpack played that shot, and that was real lucky. So that was a foul by me, and it gave him ball in hand. Fairly straightforward clearance. I wouldn't expect any issues at all. I don't remember feeling anything bad at this point. I think it was that we were both kind of in stroke, and I expected him to basically to clear up, and I had to just keep waiting for my chances really. And that was again a very unexpected miss. And I decided just to play safe. And I wasn't happy with the outcome, because he could still pot the ball. He didn't pot the ball, and I was pleased he missed, but if I remember rightly, I can't remember if that goes. I think it just did. But I had a cut. And when that went in and I landed on the 3 here, I felt very good about that. That was again a big moment in this match. And then I went and missed the 3, and I was pretty hopping mad at this point again. And you get it. He puts a nice ball. I mean, this is a tough clearance. To get on the 5, to then roll everything in for 24-23. I mean, it's definitely not easy. I wasn't thinking I was out of it just yet, but when he played that shot, I knew I had a real chance. That again proved to be another miss that he would very much regret come the end of the game. So this was a shot that I really bore down on. Took a little bit of time on this one, because they're my nemesis shots. So 25-22. Again, I'm thinking now just run a couple out. Just get a couple on the board. You know, I get that in. And again, that worked out very well for us as well. That was an excellent shot. So at this point, I'm thinking just try and get on the 5. I mean, that sort of that really went horribly wrong. Played a good shot there. Now I knew he'd jump this, and that's probably the first time that he's made an error jumping. Like I say, Wolfpack's probably one of the best jump shot players around. When I played that, I hit it so thin that I was almost stuck, but I thought, well, if I can cut it in, I'll probably be on the 6. And when I got this, I thought, well, at this, as it was moving around the table, I thought, right, that's 26-22. And I'm now like a really heavy favourite now for the game. I went enough on the break. Really disappointed with that. I don't know how I did that. I couldn't honestly tell you. I just remember thinking that was a really silly opportunity to give Wolfpack. But that shot there could be a reflection on the fact that he was suffering. Played a super cut. I mean, that really, really is good. And he's sort of one good shot away from the rack, really. And he missed the 3. And I think at this point, this was when I realised that I had it won. When it stuck its nose out and I can go 27-22 up, I was happy at this point. And I was flowing as well. Oh, I didn't hit that anywhere near hard enough. And because I'd made a little mistake, I decided don't move the white that much and then proceeded to clunk it. So where I left it, I wasn't very happy with this one. I didn't feel that confident, but when it went in, I felt great. So 27-22, and at this point, knowing that Wolfpack has to win 9-3 to beat me, I was super confident that this game was probably going to be mine now. I was, I would have been suffering if he'd come back, but I was struggling, with it. So Wolfpack played an odd push out, allowed me to take a real advantage in the rack. Got very unlucky there, but again, I just felt at this point that everything was in my favour. All I was getting the breaks, I was running out well. I just felt like it was a canter to the finish line. Without any disrespect to Wolfpack, he's an amazing player. I just felt that the confidence was super high at this point. I didn't feel like I was going to miss. I felt like he was going to be really hard for him to, as good as he is, be really hard for him to come back. And when I got that break, I was just thinking, look, it's all going super well for us. So confident I was able to play a position like that. I remember that 9 going in. I didn't feel any real emotion about it. The 5's going down, and I didn't really have a shot or anything. But I felt like I should go for the middle. And I potted it, and I'm on it. Again, I'm thinking just push the boat out. You'll see me do that quite a lot when I start to clear up. You see us push the boat out just a little bit to try and finish things off. When that went in, I'm thinking I can't miss. Now that was unexpected. That was, again, sobering us up a little bit. But I played a nice shot. I expected to go round the angles, so a little bit more care and attention when it went into this shot. And I really felt like it was all over now when this went in. So I knew the 1-9 combination would be tempting here, and Wolfpack was a long way away from it. I think that was more to do with the kind of the way the play had gone recently for him. So for me, it was a case of just being tight, and that kind of worked out pretty well for him in the end. And I decided to go full-blooded for this, and I missed the 2, but then I actually realised it actually went. So instead of doing anything silly, I just tightened it up. Wanted to get on the hill, knowing that he had to beat his 9-1 now. I was pretty confident it wasn't going to happen. But then he potted that, and it sort of brought me around a little bit, sobered me up, realising that he wasn't going to go away. And then I think this ball is close to in off, and when this went in off, I played actually again, as a characteristic of this match, I played a silly combo. I rushed into it and I thought, instead of just rolling this in, I went for glory, and it was a silly shot. And again, I thought that's the 3rd time in the match that I'd just been a little bit rash. So you go on about things that I can learn, things that I've got to do better. You know, I'm not the perfect player. I made mistakes in this game. I should not have been playing a shot that let my opponent back in when I still needed 2 racks. I should have got those racks. I should have run the balls. I can run balls all day, and I didn't. So when he potted this ball again, I was sort of not laughing inside. I was very unhappy. I just thought, you know, why have you just done that? That's really, really silly. Don't get desperate. Don't get stupid. You know, play the shots. So it sort of refocused us a little bit. And I had a chance here to get myself back where I wanted to be. So I played, you know, everything's open here. Everything's on. And I just thought, right, time to hit that hill. Nearly missed that one. That was a poor shot. Again, a little bit nervy coming up towards the end of the game. But when I potted this ball up, you know, 30 to 31, I'm thinking, well, you know, sooner he's not going to run 8 racks on us. If he does, good luck to him. But I'm probably going to get a chance, and it's up to me to take it. So Wolfpack gets first chance in the final rack, if I win the rack, of course, and plays a couple of decent efforts. Goes for not the most sensible shot, and I think I play safe here if I remember rightly, and I end up getting it safe somehow, getting a good white ball. So at this point I'm just thinking, right, give me a chance and I'll win. And if anything, that makes it easier. So at this point, looking at this rack, as I moved the white, I remember thinking, right, this is for the US Championship, let's do it. At this point, I'm thinking clearly, just screw across, don't leave yourself snookered. And then here, just took an extra few seconds to get the side spin right. And at this point, it's like, just roll it in, leave yourself a little bit of an angle. I didn't want any heroics. Left it far too straight, so I had to leave myself a long 9. So I punched it in just to get as much angle as I could, and then there's the winning 9, and I'm the US Open champion for 2016. So that's the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and get subscribed. Hello to all my new subscribers, by the way, if you got to the end of the video. Big shout out to Andy, Sickbull, Ladyhawk, Hugh, and all the rest of the guys at VP4, of course Wolfpack, who was such an excellent runner-up. And I will see you guys on my next video. Thank you for watching.